We're just gonna go ahead and get started.
Baseline.
Hey, yeah, yeah. Mm. Porch podcast. Put them on a. It's the Porch podcast. Porch podcast. Porch podcast. Time to come and set it straight. It's episode 98, and it ain't no debate. Me and P back with the flow again. Influential is the illest, and I'm here to win. Like the hairs on my chinny chin chin with the three little pigs, and I still go in. On bacon sometimes, maybe even ribs. We gon' rock this for the kids. We gon' keep playing. We gon' keep saying, let's go. And I ain't playing. Mr. Influential best with the mic. Let's get it on tonight. You know why? It's the Porch podcast. Come on. We gon' put them on a It's the Porch podcast. Come on. What? We gon' put them on a let's go. Welcome to the Porch podcast. It's your boy DJ E, Mr. Influential, and I'm rocking with my brother, man.
The original, baby. Let's get it.
Let's
Get it.
Talk to him,
Well,
P.
hey, man, episode 98, y'all. We rolling right along, as we say each and every week. We thank you guys for tuning in, rocking out with us. You know, we try to do our best to stay consistent. And I would say 98 episodes in definitely is representing that.
Ain't no question about us being consistent at all. At all.
For those who haven't done it already, make sure however you're watching this or listening to it, whatever you're doing, if you're listening to it, make sure you download it. If you're watching it on YouTube, make sure you click that like, subscribe button, hit that notification bell so y'all know when all the content is dropping. And we're going to get right on into it, man. A lot of things going on in this world that we're living in.
Right.
Before we get into that, E, I want to know, how's your week doing, brother? How's your week doing so far?
Week's going good. Let me tell you what's a plus.
What's that, bro?
Been in the gym all week. Didn't miss a day. All the way into this week. Didn't miss a day. Yeah, let's clap it up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good thing, man. I mean, health is wealth. We talk about it all the time. We work on things. We try to work on that balance in life, that universal approach, that working on your mind. Yeah. That's what happens when you try to talk with coffee in your mouth.
You see? Right.
The universal approach. Which is, that universal approach. That mind, body, and spirit, like we talk about all the time, man. And the fact that you've been working out, getting back into that gym and locking in, doing that consistent thing, you're going to reap the benefit and the blessing of it. So just stick with it, man. I'm glad to hear that. We've been lucky, man, as far as this weather.
Oh, yes.
I would have to say that I think right now, man, in this November weather we have right here, I had to actually go back in and look at the calendar.
Right. I'm going to tell you this.
What's that?
And maybe we can find out. This might have been the warmest first week of November ever in my life.
I think so. I'm willing to really, look into it. It's worth the time.
Right, it's worth the time.
I'm gonna have to do it at some point or another. But I went out, I sat out on the deck for a little bit. Usually by this time of the year, bro, the deck stuff is put up, covers is on it,
right,
wrapped up, and when I went out there, even the grass and the bushes and everything is confused.
Yeah.
Leaves that fell off the trees, but then you start looking up and some of the other shrubbery that we have around the crib, I just started getting new growth, and it's like, I guess Mother Nature, who am I to question it, but, feel like giving us a few extra days or whatever, however long it's going to be. It's some nice weather, but, yeah, man, it's been really nice. So it's a good thing you've been able to stay consistent all week with that.
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody who been on it like that, man, I know you've been enjoying this week. I know I have been getting my walks in, doing my regular one too. So health is wealth. Take advantage of the weather while it's like that, man. But we're gonna get right into some of these topics this week, man.
Yeah, go ahead, do it.
Got a lot of things going on. So we're gonna address, the situation, man, with Kyrie Irving. We had a few conversations. There's been a lot going on about some of the things as far as what he stands on, what he's promoting, his opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You made an excellent statement in the private conversation that we were having about the whole concept dealing with the opinions of it. Who you are determines what kind of opinion you're allowed to have, and that is wild, man.
Right. No, I'm
We
not
live in a
going to.
world where who you are determines what kind of opinion that you can have.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree.
And I think back to some of the times, man, like even if you took it off the celebrity status situation, man, I think back to some of the times, man, where we used to have, that uncle or that grandparent or somebody, that cousin or whoever, and they would say things.
Right.
And when they would say things, we would just chalk it up to that. So, man, that's Uncle Jay, man. He gonna say what he want to say anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it was acceptable because it was him, even though we know something that he had said, was a little left fieldish.
I'm
Or
really,
that
I'm
was my
really
personal opinion.
not to cut you, but I'm really messing with everybody, man. This listen, this ain't nothing but old flat Coca-Cola, man.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you play for a professional team, you might be suspended for 5 games.
About that.
Just about that. But what I
Mm-hmm.
was getting ready to say about the situation, man, is that who you are determines your availability and ability to be able to speak your mind about issues, truthfully.
Right.
And there's a part of you that you have to kind of release or surrender when you get ready to walk into the realm of, celebrity, that you may not know about until you're actually in a position and you say something, and then you find out, oh, I couldn't say that, or I
Right.
couldn't feel that way, or I couldn't present it that way without it being, something that's going to, penalize me or, cause me some kind of loss and whatever, whether it's money or any of those things.
Well,
So,
I think they do know that they can't say it. I think they just don't care and choose to say it because they're standing for what they believe in. That's how I see it. Because it's like this. We think about Colin Kaepernick,
right,
right?
right,
But if people really do their research in sports, he's not the first person to do that.
right,
That type of, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, born as Chris Jackson, did that, and that's when the league started blackballing him.
right.
Kyrie, it's like Kyrie is just part of that of this time. You see what I'm saying? But we
Right.
had other people do things like that. So
Right.
with the climate of the world, we can't help to see the climate of the world of everything going on. There's no way that they don't know. Or I'm not saying that they don't know, but some of them know, okay, this, because a lot of these guys that do this, people call them stupid, but they're actually intelligent and they're bold. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
you said something in the beginning of the show. You was like, who you are determines, would you say, the response
The-
or
the- no, it determines your opinion. Like
your opinion?
the
Right.
freedom to your opinion. The
The
freedom
freedom
to
to,
your opinion.
right. That's what you said. Now,
Mhm.
you were exactly correct because you were meaning from the celebrity standpoint. Let's use Kyrie and Kanye West because of who they are. They can't say it. However, even them as their own individual selves,
Mhm.
because they're going to have their opinion anyway. Like, I still think they would get the same type of backlash, but it goes back. It goes back. 2 episodes ago with canceled.
Right. Right.
We asked them how to cancel, and they showed us how to cancel. I can tell you that much. They showed us that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they showed us.
They, they
But
they was clear on it. Yeah.
they was clear on it. But however, what I'm saying is, you don't, for a poor lack of terms, you don't cancel a nobody. You can't.
Right.
That's why they know what they're getting ready to say. And these are not these guys' first time dealing with it. I'm not gonna say being in trouble because I don't believe that they're in trouble, but
Mhm.
this is not their first time having one of these type of issues with things. Like I said, even with Kanye West, we go back some episodes when I was talking about when he had the White Lives Matter shirt on. You know what I mean? I
Right.
explained how In my opinion, I don't see nothing wrong with it because I know why he could. I don't know why he's doing it, but just the fact that his kids are white, they do matter to him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a great point. You brought up something at that particular time that I didn't consider.
Mm-hmm.
But then on top of that, just to kind of bring that previous conversation into this episode, it still comes down to the fact that who his celebrity status is, or
Right,
has him to be,
right.
is still why it's a big
A
deal.
big deal, right? Yeah, no, you're absolutely
It,
correct.
you know,
You're
and
absolutely
that's the
correct.
thing. Like with the situation with Kyrie, the whole thing about the Amazon element of it, the anti-Semitic, support of what he's saying, or they're saying that allegedly, like he's supporting the film. I don't know if you know the name of the film, but the name of the film, just to bring it to light, is
I seen it a couple times, but I didn't remember.
Hebrew to Negroes, Wake Up Black America.
Right,
Okay. And right now, it's actually, they were talking about it being on rent, for rent for 10.99. And, one source had reached out actually to Amazon to see whether or not they were going to set a limit to how many people can actually rent it, or, whether they were going to remove it altogether. Um, once again, I believe that opinions they belong to everyone, right? They belong to everyone. And who you are, I guess, does factor in, because the penalty for being a celebrity with a gut feeling or a gut opinion about something can cost you.
right,
It can cost you. It can cost you endorsement deals. It can cost you, opportunities that you may have had developing. I mean, right now Nike has suspended Kyrie. I don't know if you knew that, E.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I definitely did. I know.
So you had that going on, and then it's the narratives, right? The narratives that get painted, because what they do is they use other larger than life celebrities, and you go and get their opinions, right?
Right,
And remember, the concept or the conversation that we're talking about is how one celebrity kind of puts them in a foothold in their ability to be able to be honest about how they feel about something.
hmm,
And no matter if they can explain it or not, everybody hangs on to the first statement.
right,
It never matters. You know what I mean? Like the whole concept about, like Kanye was saying, what he was saying before is, you know, slavery was an option, and it just tied into all of those different things. When you start to think about why it's very difficult for them to actually make those kind of statements, you got to consider first and foremost, once again, their status automatically puts them into a box,
right.
right? No matter what a person does. Biggie said more money, more problems. Well, more money, more attention, more responsibility, more,
Which is the
all of
problems
those
he's
things.
talking about. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
And so, I'm just saying all of that to say, because, even with LeBron, man, LeBron had his opinion about it. And it's so sad that we live in a society where he had an opinion, and the headline for the thing that I was reading actually was more or less in alignment with him kind of coming off as he was being this, house person, so to speak, and being more in alignment with protecting his endorsement deals than supporting what Kyrie was saying. And the saddest part about it is LeBron was being truthful. It just wasn't in support with the narrative that people wanted to be in. So he get looked at as, a less than of a person, right? Or a brother. And then Kyrie gets looked at as the guy who spoke the truth, and now he getting popped on the tail because of his honesty.
Okay,
I don't
so
know. It's a different world, man.
so let's look at the real agenda.
Right.
Gotta go with history, like, and sometimes you got to talk about history, but me and you had this conversation also about theory and people's belief. Like when you just made the statement that Kanye said that slavery at one point slavery was a choice, right? And I understand to a certain extent. I'm gonna try to dissect it, but I always say that slavery was a mentality. Now we
Right.
told that it real. We're told what happened. We're told how it went. We didn't physically see it ourselves, and I'm not saying that it didn't happen for the smart dummies at the bottom. Will say, man, like I'm not
I
saying
love
that.
I love how you
Right,
acknowledge those people.
right, yeah, I gotta do it because they gonna be like, you know what I mean, and that's how that's gonna go. But really, when you sit back and you look at it, they won a championship together. Then Kyrie wanted to be traded. Then
Right.
they're saying that him and LeBron is beefing, right?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Then after he was gone, and you start listening to the podcast that Kyrie was talking on,
Right.
it was like he felt like he was the star of the team, all this type of stuff. Then you look at another podcast later, you know, they talk about he wish would stay, and now it's back to them. Do you realize that Kyrie Irving and LeBron James is the latest version of what they did with Kobe and Shaq?
I think that I agree with that, and I believe that the formula is the same. I don't believe
Right.
it's even a new formula.
But what I want black folks to understand is, even in the midst of controversy, when someone makes a statement that doesn't, it looks like it's against another race, they still know how to paint the narrative to divide us in that.
Right. Right.
So we always talk about, like, if we all stand together, this will change and this and that.
Right.
They always plan another story to divide us even more with the same. It's like they catching double fish with the same bait. Remember back in the day, Pop would take us fishing. We throw it out there. Boom. Catch a little sunny, whatever. Get it. Still got the worm. Why rehook? Why rebait the hook? He ain't getting none. Throw it back out. Boom. Get another one.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's bait. You're trying to get him to bite the hook.
Absolutely.
They do that every single time. It's a narrative, man. First when it was Kanye, you had, man, Kanye's stupid, man. We got to cancel him. I ain't wearing no more of his sneakers or nothing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Adidas dropped in. Yeah, they cancel him all the way around. Boom. Kyrie then comes and gets involved in the scandal. And you got people being more supportive with Kyrie, and they're speaking on the same thing. Let me tell you how I found out that Kyrie was even in something. I opened up my Twitter. Kanye's Twitter pops up on mine, and he has a picture of Kyrie. And I'm like, okay, so what Kyrie just do? And then I seen that. Now, it went from people saying they not messing with, I want you to look at this. I seen a video. Man, forget Kanye and burn sneakers. I ain't buying no more. Adidas dropped him and all this, that, and this. Man, he's stupid, blah, 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 blah. Right? So now, a few months later, I'm seeing people burn Adidas and Nikes, saying we not supporting them no more because they suspended Kyrie. Now because Kanye's not the only one speaking in that type of light, you got more people agreeing with it. Because all it took, like me and you talk all the time, one other person to agree with you, and things go further. Now, I'm not speaking on no views or nothing that I have of the situation, because I don't, like I told you, a lot of the things that happened in the past, I try to leave in the past, but I know they're a part of us because it happened to our ancestors. I'm smart enough to understand that. And I also know that there's a lot of things that happen in life that everybody's not going to agree with.
Of course. Yeah, of
But
course.
but at the end of the day, you got to have a mind frame. Are you going to focus on what the problem is or focus on a solution?
It's just like war.
Right.
You know, the economy thrives in war, especially here in the country that we live in, you know, where things are built on capitalism. It's the same thing when it comes to anything dealing with any kind of money situation. Um, it's funny. I was looking at the same source, and they had a big article, right? The big picture with LeBron sharing his opinion about how he felt, and then all of a sudden they had this real little square, and they had Kevin Durant saying that the Nets ain't had to do all of that. The Kyrie, they ain't had to suspend him and all of that. It was real little though. So it's funny because even from that perspective, right?
Still trying to close the division.
The cause of division, but it's just like, bruh, we were talking, me and Smooth, we was having a conversation. We was talking about brands and the situation with Nike and all of these different things. And we started talking about all the way back in the day with, you know, different things with Jordans and all that. And I said something to him. I said, you know, if you ever look at the concept of marketing, right?
Right.
Marketing and advertisement when you're dealing with those things. I said, when you look at that, look at who the face is of most of these things, right? You look at you look at Kyrie being part of Nike, but if you look up, you'll most of the time you'll see, LeBron, or you'll look up and you'll see with Steph Curry with Under Armour, or you'll look up, you understand what I'm saying, and you'll see the
Right.
next person. Why don't you ever see any other races, in my opinion, be like not the ambassadors or be the representation of these brands, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
as dope as Luke, as talented as Luka Doncic is, do we even know who he has a sneaker deal with?
He has one. I think it's Nike.
It's not even a question if he has one,
Yeah,
but the fact what I'm saying to
it's
you,
either I know what you said it's either Nike. Just to answer your question, either Nike or Jordan got him.
okay,
I'm about to
cool,
find out right
but
now.
but see what I'm saying, and I know that we don't know everybody's contracts, but the point is I'm just putting the narrative out there. If you look at it, when these
Yeah.
things have a domino or trickle effect over into our environments and our communities, and we're bickering, we're arguing, we're looking at these brands, the way that they're promoted a specific way. You look at something like Tommy Hilfiger, think about those commercials. Look at something like Nautica. Look at those commercials.
Just
Look
to,
at, you know,
just not to cut your wisdom, but he's with Jordan. The Jordan Luca ones. They about $110.
okay, well, that's cool. But
Mm-hmm.
the main purpose of the situation is with the branding element of things, it is strategically done a certain type of way. You understand what I'm saying? That's like I just heard, and I don't know. I got to do some research to look into it. The Celtics coach that got into an issue. That the Nets just let go Steve Nash.
Yeah.
I think Udoka is now the Brooklyn Nets head coach.
I don't know if he signed unless he signed today, but they had a focal point on it, like they wanted him to be the coach. But I
Like they
don't.
wanted him to be the coach.
Yeah,
I
if
know.
it, yeah, if
I got to
he
do some research to see.
right,
But you understand what I'm saying? So it's funny because we just had that conversation, and they had to be very, very careful on how they handled that situation.
right,
And now this may be the outcome. He may have been, leaving one situation going right into a different thing. Now imagine you're him and you're going to a team where right now the attention that's on it is about a player, one of your star players, being in a situation like Kyrie is in.
mm-hmm.
Controversy and all of those things, they always tie up together. And what it does is it creates this impression that, where certain races of people are, there's always going to be some conflict. There's always going to be some debate. I just have an issue, like I said, with all of this stuff. My main thing is that we are selective in the acts that we pick to be genius acts versus a person being honest. When Kanye says something that we say, "Ooh, he shouldn't have said that," we all go like, "Oh, he shouldn't have said that." But when he make a dope song and a dope album, everybody talks about it because he's a genius in it. And
Mm-hmm.
you see all of these people doing the exact same things. You got people that make statements. And they took. I looked at a thing. They took a statement Lil Wayne had made. Some he made a statement. I think it was on Twitter. R.I.P. to the Green Bay Packers season. We should have traded number 12 when we had the chance.
Mm-hmm.
Now he probably ain't the only person that feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
But watch it turn around and it be something different. Oh man, Lil Wayne said R.I.P. to the Green Bay Packers. What he wishing death on him or something like it? Because that's the way that situation gets made. That's the way it gets drummed up, and we always see it in the same light. They'll have that come right. They'll have that situation about Kyrie or Kanye, and then in between it, they'll slide off. God bless his soul, may he rest in peace. The situation that took place with the rapper Takeoff.
Yeah, but
They'll slide that right into the mix of that. And it's just like, I'm not saying it has anything to do with each other, but that is the narrative. Like it's always,
bro, it's an
you know,
agenda, man. It's an agenda. It's like every time something like that happens, you know, it then comes up with something else to make us forget that. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
I mean, if you go back, I'm just gonna use this one. Boom. Aaliyah died in a plane crash. The world was hurt by that. You know what I mean? It's like the modern day Selena type joint. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And then 9/11 happens. And I'm not saying 9/11 happened to make us forget, but that's just how it is. Okay, Kobe Bryant dies in a helicopter crash. Right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
let's see exact date. Okay. Kobe death day. That was on January 26, 2020. Now we was talking about Kobe the whole month and everything. Boom, what comes right after that? COVID-19. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now take off. You know, the story we told, may that brother rest in peace, and prayers to his whole family and everybody that was involved. They say, oh, somebody in his own thing shot him, and that's what's all on the TV. Then boom, the Kyrie situation. Now let's really look at, like I said, when you look at really what Kyrie did, like, bro, it's not even necessarily, it is his opinion, but what his opinion was. Because all he said was, this is a really good, in so many words, this is a good film. He promoted the documentary that he didn't make. I'm looking at it, bro. The documentary actually is a film from 2018. It's not even brand new. So he basically spoke his opinion. I like this film. Now here's a real thing I want people to pay attention to. If he turned around and posted, this film will always be a cultural hip hop classic. Boom, let's go with Belly.
Right.
Drug lords.
Right.
Black drug lords. Let's turn around and do another one. Oh, this one right here will always be a hip hop classic. I mean, a cultural classic.
Right.
Boys in the Hood.
Right. Yeah.
Menace to Society.
Right.
Nobody, excuse my French, would have gave a fuck. NBA wouldn't be having him apologize. No, it's not even about Kyrie posting it. It's about this film has a message. So again, the film comes out from 2018.
Right.
The man the man sits there and speaks his opinion on how he likes the film from 2018. Right? He likes the film from 2018.
Right.
So to distract us from actually looking at the film, let's suspend him. Nike, we need y'all to be down. Y'all suspend him. He got to do these. It's a list of 6 things he got to do. Yeah. Okay, let's turn around. All right, let's see how LeBron played this out. Oh, LeBron said he don't condone that. This and this and that. Boom. Let's put some more toxicity in there. Also, they will look at the story of what's going on, but not watch the film.
Come on, bruh. Now you're talking about it.
But not watch the film. From 2018.
Right. Right.
Stephen A. turns around and says, listen, it's not about his talent. It's about that he thinks he's smarter than everybody, and he's not going to he wants people to believe what he's saying is right, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that, Stephen A. You follow right into the same thing to keep people from watching the film. Yeah. You just stated, bruh. How many people are you going to allow to download or rent this? But yeah,
that was the question, to which Amazon had no response.
Because Amazon is like, let them watch the film.
Yeah, for $11.99 they could rent it. They could rent it. $49.99.
You could.
They had it on. They had a deal. They had a $5 deal.
A
$1 deal. I mean, a $1 deal. They shaved off of both of them for some kind of sale that was going on. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the movie that's called Hebrews to Negroes. Ooh. Wake up, Negroes.
That might be part 2. Hebrew to Negroes. Wake up, work. Wake up, Black America.
Right. That's what it's. That's what the name of the film is.
Yeah, but when you look at the description of it, it says the movie Hebrews Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, uncovers the true identity of the children of Israel by proving the truth, ethnicity, Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, the son of Ham, Shem, and I'm going to probably say it wrong, Japheth. Japheth.
Yeah. Now you know all them
Find
people.
out what. Now it says find out what Islam, uh,
Right.
Judaism,
Right.
and Christianity have covered for centuries in regards to the true biblical identity of the so-called Negro
Yeah.
in this movie, packed with tons of research.
And you know what
Right?
that means, right?
What's that?
Bottom line, they were black.
Right. But it also. But here's the
That's
other
what it
twist
means.
to it.
That's why they don't want us to see it. That's why they want us to focus on Kyrie. I said it.
Right. But see, here's the thing. Here's the twist to it too. If it came out in 2018, but it became a topic in the back end of 2022, one should dare to wonder, once again, tying it back to what I was saying initially at the beginning, who the person is that makes the statement is what's going to create and carry a narrative, right?
Right.
Because Ronald Dalton Jr. was a director.
He was the
Yet
director, the writer, and the producer.
right. The genre is based on faith and spirituality, documentary, and special interest. Now, if it took place, if the film was created in 2018, but this concept about, the African American basketball player that had an opinion about it being a good movie because he actually viewed it and it was just his opinion, cost him everything that is costing him thus far. There's a problem with the fact that you can't be a certain person of a celebrity status or any kind of status and not have your own clear and defined opinion. That's a problem. That's a problem. And that's an issue that and I think that it supports your statement that when he did it, I think it shined a light on something that
It
the
did.
powers that be said, whoa, we got to make him look like he's an actual supporter of, things that are anti-Semitic. We got to paint that image. We got to hurry up and make that the narrative. I like because what you said, because if not, people are going to go and look for this film because he is who he is.
He's Kyrie Irving. So
Right.
so basically, like we saying, what do they
Right.
always have us do? What they have
Right.
us do is focus on the discipline
Right.
that happened to the person.
Exactly.
And then the people that don't agree. So it's not even about quote unquote the house, like we were saying that they were saying with LeBron and all that,
Yeah.
because his opinion is his opinion. But it even goes back to when you in as a kid with your cousins or your siblings, and one of them had to be the problem child, the example,
Yeah.
and they got popped. You know what I mean? And then you
Yeah.
got the one that always said, "I told you shouldn't have did it."
Yeah.
Now they call him the scary one because they know how to provoke us. Meanwhile, we not looking at what he did, really looking at what he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
He shined the light. Let's think about it. I just used a perfect example. A perfect example. If he would have posted Boys in the Hood, if he would have posted Menace to Society,
No. Good
and
point.
these are black men killing black men, they want to say, Kyrie, you're in favor of black people killing black people?
Bruh. They wouldn't have said that.
They wouldn't have said it.
And on top of not saying that, guess what, E? Look at this for a half a second.
I'm about to say, I'm gonna see if you say the same thing I'm saying.
All Kyrie said was that he thought it was a good film.
Right.
Yet Amazon is the people who are capitalizing by renting the movie to people and
Right.
selling the movie to people, and no one is speaking on that.
Right.
How is it that the person who said that they actually found the film to be interesting, right?
Right.
Giving credit to the writer, giving credit to the directors for putting together a quality film built on research.
Right.
But the people who are actually making money off of it, which is your Amazon, right? They don't even have a comment when people are reaching out. Are you going to limit how much you allow this to be seen? Are you going to stop it from being actually being played? Which is a beautiful question when you look at the reality that if you popping him on a hand, suspending him for 5 games, you already
Absolutely.
had to give up a $500,000. We've seen
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Nike's doing what they're doing, yet Amazon gets to continue to run the film, which you know at this point, as we speak, is being rented by so many different people because of the controversial situation.
Right.
So
So
how is it that they get to be able to be viewed in one light as the company that's capable of being able to present this as an available thing for you to see, but you say something to him because he had an opinion?
because at the end of the day, Amazon is going to capital off what people look at now in America as God, money. See what I'm saying? Money. It says in God we trust. It's posted on the dollar bill, as we know, right?
Exactly,
Now,
exactly.
however, when you sit back and really think about it, it's like I labeled those movies. It's funny because all those movies have African Americans killing African Americans,
Right,
right?
right.
This movie is based upon spiritual faith, belief, which is supposed to be what we're led by, and you're questioning how many of these are you going to allow to get rent and sold?
We got an issue with a documentary that is supported by research and different fact finding situations.
Right.
But we're okay if he would have said something about a movie that's just based on what the stigma is or what the stereotype of these particular areas of people display on a regular basis. So one can be glorified, the other one you better not say nothing about it, because even if you support it or say anything about it, you're going to put yourself in the line of fire. Before we get any deeper, though, I wanted to remind the people, man, that, if you're ever in a position where you need a full service event company, one that can take care of all of your, planning needs for whatever type of events you have going on. Me and E happen to know a company for you. Check it out. Look, check it out. Let's get that stress off your plate. All right? You got that big event coming up, and you don't want to have to do all the work. I got a company for you. Full service event company that's going to take care of all of your event planning needs. That's www.fncevents.com. A full service event planning company. Take all the stress off your head, kick back and enjoy the party. Once again, that's www.fncevents.com. Head on over there, get that party booked, and get it done. Back to the show.
Front and center events.
Absolutely, front and center event.
So it's funny, like you said, they no longer want to play or put or show a spiritual, faith-driven movie. And the question you asked about Amazon, it's because Amazon is a conglomerate. How you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Glycomerate. That mean
Conglomerate. Yeah.
conglomerate.
Yeah.
That's how you say it. All right.
Yeah.
Let me stop playing, man.
We good, y'all.
Yeah,
No,
we
man,
good.
man, I don't think we was playing. I think it was a little bit of a tongue twister at first, bro. Like, okay,
So-
let me ask you something. When the last time you used conglomerate in a sentence?
Listen,
Jay-Z
and
was
probably
saying in
he was saying the commission. The other one, Busta Rhymes, was saying the conglomerate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep. Fucked it up again.
No, Jay-Z said it too.
Nah, I ain't say he didn't. But Bus used to say it more. But Jay-Z used to always talk about the commission. He did say, Jay-Z said it, yeah, but Jay-Z's talking about the commission.
He said, respect my conglomerate. Yeah, he
Yeah.
said it.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay. So anyway, that's what it is about Amazon.
Flat out
They got
said he ain't
they got
doing it
they
all.
got billions in lawyers because at the end of the day, who makes the most money off of films? The distributor.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So you gonna ask me, boom, they gonna say how many of these you gonna rent and sell, and then they sell the shit for $50. So if y'all gonna limit this, I'ma still get my change.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, we live in a world where if they pushed it up $10, man.
That's what I'm saying.
People will
That's
spend
what
it.
I'm,
People will
bruh.
spend it just to be able to say, "I saw that movie, man. Kyrie was all right, man." And what I'm telling you, you
Yeah.
know that. I ain't telling you nothing you don't know.
Yep.
All I'm stating is supporting what you already said. But it's once again, it's built on who the person is. I
Hmm.
could have said those same things, and it would have been nothing.
Yeah, because you ain't as big as Kyrie.
No,
Yeah.
and with that being, you know, the reality of the world that we live in, it just made me really sit back and consider, like, from the perspective of who a person is gets to determine or determines how truthful they can be. Like, your truth has
Will
to be
set
more
you free.
selective, right? But it has you have to be selective in your truth when you get
And
to a certain status, and that
right.
and that to me is like, what is that?
It's not necessarily being selective. Um, in my opinion, yes, it is, but not what I meant to say is we're saying this. I'm about to say the same thing because he truthfully likes the movie, and he didn't have to be post, so he had to be selective, like you're saying about that post. You know
Yeah,
what I
you know what
mean?
the selective is when you at that status, not
Yeah,
having an opinion or a statement at all.
yeah, just
See,
not saying it, either speaking on it or not.
but but see what I'm saying is all right, whenever you get ready to do something, you know how you got, I could do this, I could do that. Well, I'll do that because it's the safe play.
Mm-hmm.
And what often winds up happening is every time that you go with the safe play, even if it's not how you truly feel or what you truly wanted to do, you get further and further away from being able to be in your truth or being able to
Mm-hmm.
be who you are and express it, who you are. You understand what I'm saying? Like, even with the situation, you had a thing where I believe it was Kanye was saying something and then Shaq had an opinion. Next thing you know, Shaq made a statement. He don't know me like that, and I'm looking like, look at what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what's being created. And that's the part, they can sit back at that point and say, okay, the landmine's been set. Now watch them sit back and destroy each other. You know what I'm saying? So when you already trying to fight an uphill battle and you already on a slippery slope, you don't got time to be looking around at others who are climbing this ladder with you and trying to figure out ways how to knock them down when you already the minority in that situation.
Right.
You how do you do that and expect to survive or be able to help others survive? So, my take on that situation, you know what I mean, to kind of wrap it up in terms of that situation for me is what kind of world do we live in where your status determines, the ability for you to be able to be totally transparent about your feelings at the risk of basically hurting yourself monetarily,
Mm-hmm.
and is it worth that? Is it worth that for some of these people that's out there in the world? And, I mean, bruh, me and you became,
I was gonna answer your
celebrities.
question. Yeah, what world we live in? I'm listening. I'm gonna let you keep going. I'm listening to what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Nah, I mean, if we live in that world, where that's the case, what do you do when you get to the crossroads? It's like, yo, I can go left and stay who I am and keep all my freedoms and my abilities to be able to say what I want to say. Or I can go right, and I'm not gonna say necessarily become a slave to the industries or the powers that be, but become, boxed in or become limited to my ability to be transparent. I think we all come to a certain point in our life where we had to make that decision.
Well, to answer your question, we live in a world where they want people of strength to be labeled as weak, and
Okay.
it's really just like that. Like, you know, Meek Mill said, the way they hurt, the way they really hurt, African Americans is by when they wealthy like that, taking their money from them. You know what I mean? Mute R.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, mute R. Kelly, right? Now, but
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cosby, we gonna keep him in court where he got to spend so much that it's just gonna drain a lot of his wealth. And I'm not saying that these people didn't do these things. I'm not out here saying. I'm just using it how far and how much they stretch it even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, it's an agenda. It's an understanding that people sit back and really want you to pay attention. That you know, this movie pretty much states in so many words that it's basically about They're saying Jewish people are lying about their origins. Amongst its false and outlandish claims is the assertion that the Holocaust never happened. See what I'm saying?
Right.
That's also what it's talked about. All the man said was he felt it was a good movie.
Yeah.
But it's the
Yeah.
same. But the film industry is trying to explain something. A guy is trying to explain something that he is his opinion of, right? In so many words, without me saying that your original Jews were black, and just be honest, we've believed that even before the film. Okay, that's just that's how we see it. So, with that being said, it's not shocking that the press was pushing him, asking him how he felt about it. And if you don't turn around and take back that post, we're gonna make it hard for you, sir. That's what I see through that whole situation. And it's funny because we sat here and we said we weren't even gonna talk about this long, and we had to stay with it because sometimes the truth just gotta be said, man.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, bro. I mean, but I wanted to say something about a point that you were just making real quick before it slipped my mind. Even in the concept of what you were saying about the mute R. Kelly thing in the situation with Bill Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
You get to a certain point, right, when things consistently happen and they look similar, or they don't look too far off from what it is. It's pretty clear and apparent what the objective is.
Mm-hmm.
One has to ask yourself the question: when is it not? When is it beyond it being a situation of vulnerability, like being vulnerable, right? Vulnerability. Dang, tongue twisters tonight. And versus ignorance, right? Vulnerability and versus ignorance.
Vulnerability.
Right. That's what I said. Vulnerability versus ignorance, right? So at some point you have to get beyond what's happening to you consistently, right? So when these things is happening to you or happening around you, if you don't learn, you're going to continue to repeat the same situations, right?
Right.
So when does it become a situation where, because everybody knows why it's happening, but don't nobody know how to stop it from happening.
Right.
Everybody knows it's racist and it's racism, but don't nobody know how to stop it.
That's what I'm saying. We're looking at the problem and not the solution.
Well, not only that, the problem becomes the excuse. This is what I'm saying. When does it run out from it being a vulnerability situation versus an ignorance? Ignorance is being unknown. If you know about it, you are no longer ignorant to it.
Right.
So then you're either taking one or two approaches. You're either being vulnerable, right? Or you're ignorant. But once you know what you know, ignorance goes out the window as an option. Now you're choosing to allow yourself to be susceptible to whatever happens. So that's the problem that I have, and some people don't want to have those long conversations. Well, I don't get into debates, man, and I don't like to go back and forth. It's cool. Because see, while we busy not talking, guess what everybody else who's succeeding in life is doing? They're talking. So while we busy not wanting to have a conversation, because I'm going to get mad, and I don't do that back and forth too long, cool. That's what the other races want. Don't go back and forth. I want you to believe everything I'm saying. Get pissed off at each other. Pardon me. And then if you get that way, you'll never get out of it. So you'll keep facing the same decisions. You'll either stay vulnerable or ignorant. So y'all keep not talking. Y'all keep getting mad at each other. Y'all keep cutting each other down. And we'll keep doing what we're going to do over here. And that's exactly what happens. So when people say to me, now, P, I don't have them calling. That's the problem, bro. You don't want to talk about it. You want to have your opinion about the situation, and you'll get mad at me because I'm willing to come with you and say, let's talk it all the way out. That's the problem. While I'm telling you, you look up, you got other cultures, other races. They'll come here to this country or even in their own countries, and they'll establish themselves and have, all kind of success in life. There's certain groups of people who you never, ever see in the news. There's certain people that you never, ever see bickering. But that narrative is always created as if we are the grace of people who cannot work collectively together or turn a blind eye to certain situations because it's dog eat dog. So all
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep saying to our culture of people, our race of people, keep it up. Keep up. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to debate it. Because that's exactly what they want.
Watch the movie.
Or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
don't allow vulnerability and ignorance to continue to be, the answers to the situation.
So,
You can't. The ignorance is no longer an option once you know. Now that we
right.
know exactly what's going on, here's the question: if they're doing what they're doing to Kyrie right now, somewhere in certain rooms, there should be groups of people who are having conversations about how to make sure that we don't have another Kyrie a week from now, or another. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Another Kanye situation a week from now. Now we busy talking about him, saying something wrong with him.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, fam. Like we can't pick the parts we think cool and then turn around and then be like, oh, well, he shot and he messed up this money. They sitting back, they loving it. Look at him. Now they talking about how he blew all the money. Look,
Mm-hmm.
keep avoiding conversations. We
It's
didn't
like,
come up in a house like that, bruh. You know that.
yeah, listen, it's like this. The thing that really blows your mind about the situation, when he posted it, he didn't even make a comment as I look more into the story, right? But in a letter dated on November 4th, this is according to the New York Times,
Okay.
the Anti Defamation League and the Nets called on Amazon to take down or add an explanatory context to the film and a related book, writing that these were designed to inflame hatred, and now that it was popularized by Mr. Irving, will lead directly to harm of Jews, right? So it said it would lead directly to the harm of Jews, right? They said it was designed to inflame hatred. And now, like we said, it was popularized by Kyrie. Well, Mr. Irving is how they address it. So now, this is why it goes back and feeds our whole argument of it's because who he was and what he posted. But my question is, and like you just said, a mouthful, fool. It's a fool. Damn, sound like I'm saying mouth food. Mouthful. It should be some people in the room coming together to help Kyrie. Right? That's what you just made the statement of? Or that's what you was insinuating to, right?
Or we should be taking this situation
Right.
and dissecting it and finding out how to prevent it from continuously happening.
Right, because the same thing that the Anti-Defamation League and the Nets called on Amazon to take down or add an explicit. So somebody did address Amazon, but they couldn't beat Amazon because they were a big corporation where their owner's a billionaire and they got a hungry lawyer that'll eat the case. Point blank, period. Like, that's basically where it goes to. Now, take down a film because it will harm the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Cop puts his knee on a black man's neck.
Right.
Cop chokes out a guy out front selling CDs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not even a real cop kills a young man with a hoodie on in the neighborhood. Why are we even going to trial if y'all want to take down a film and nobody died? Because you're trying to hide the truth.
Sounds like to me. Or you taking the freedom away from a person from being interested in seeing what the history consists of.
Right.
Because I gotta secretly watch this film. Or now I gotta watch this and be quiet about it because I can't have my opinion about it because even though it was an interesting film, even though it was informative, if I say something positive about it, that means that I'm supporting racism.
Right.
I can't give the film credit.
Right.
Because if I give the film credit, that would acknowledge that I support it.
Right. Because
Kyrie just said that he felt that it was an interesting film.
Right.
It was a good film.
Right.
And they changed his narrative into he
He
supports it.
he supports it and believes all that because, but it's about bottom line. Like we sit back and we look at it. Like I think the Passion of Christ was a good film. I
Right.
still think it was a good film.
Right.
Nobody gets mad if I support that.
Right.
Hell, I think Boys in the Hood was a good film.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a damn that I support that. I think Menace to Society. I think Snowfall's a great show.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think, now here's the question. I think The Good Nurse was a good movie. Crazy fucking story, but it's a good movie.
Right. Right.
So it's not about how he popularized the film, because if y'all really thought the film, you didn't care about the film being a problem 4 years ago. You can't tell me the Anti-Defamation League didn't know of the film, whether it was on a low status or not. That's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let me ask you this: you got we doing? Would you rather or this or that?
Honestly, bro, I don't have any this week.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't have.
That's cool.
I think this week's topic, man, and this week's conversation, was very, very good. Not that I'm saying that the other. I mean, I just think that it was very important to have it. I think that I feel like keeping it right there in terms of where we are in the spirit of the conversation, is a good place. Before I get too far, too, I know it's kind of switching up gears a little bit. I want, as two Philly fans, man. I think we want to shout out the Phils for a great season, even though we fell a little bit short of the actual World Series. I'm gonna credit them for doing an outstanding job and making it to the postseason in the first place, and then making it all the way into the World Series. One of the things I'm telling you is so funny how things come up when we talk about the narrative of different things. Seen on here where it said the Houston Astros celebrate World Series win with 50 cents booze, right?
Hold up. Why you sound muffled like that now?
I don't know.
There you go. You good again. That's crazy. We had to pause you for a second. Go ahead. The Houston Astros and 50 cents.
Celebrates the World Series with 50 cents booze, $388,000 worth of bubbly.
Oh, his what's the name? I forgot what it's called, man. 50 cent champagne. Go ahead, I'm listening though.
And it's just funny. We talk about it because once again, it's who you are, right? It's who you are. Why does that make the news? Where the news is about the Houston Astros winning the World Series. Why does it have to be publicized that it was over $388,000 worth of 50 cents booze, the way that they referred to it?
L'Enchemin du Roy Brut.
Why is that important?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why is that important? And why would that get wedged in between? Bruh, I read stuff and it bounces all over the place. It goes from talking about Kanye, Kyrie, Takeoff's passing, 50 Cent right here. It goes back to Takeoff, and that his funeral
it's going to be in the Falcon Stadium, right?
In the Falcon Stadium.
Yeah.
Right? You're on a roller coaster, y'all. It's purposely designed to be that way.
Right. So we won't watch the film.
So, well, not even just the film. We won't watch the film of life. We won't watch the things that are happening around us daily. See, I ain't even going to sit up here and act like I knew anything about this movie until the situation where Kyrie got tied into it.
I didn't
know it existed. Yet it had been around for 4 years. So here's the thing. If that truth, right, if it's truth, I don't know, I didn't see it. If that fact or documentary or research, documentary is that good, right, or if it's good at all, if it's informative at all, it was in plain sight for 4 years and we never paid attention to it.
So with that honestly being said, is the worst thing y'all could have did was punish Kyrie, because now we want to see it. We not stupid no more.
Yeah. But I just look a little, yeah, you're right. And I look a little bit deeper than that on the onion anyway, because my thing is always, you know, what am I not seeing? See, the stuff that I see, it's not entertaining to me because it's like, nah, it's more. What are you not seeing? The plain sight stuff is, I see it. Okay, cool. That's what you're doing. Blaming Kyrie, or you coming after him. Yet Amazon gets to keep making all the money that they want to make off the situation while you're punishing him. And then we're gonna take another juggernaut and we're gonna have him say something, and again, against the situation and all the actions that's being taken place. My thing is, at the end of the day, if you got a documentary like this that can create this kind of controversy or this kind of situation based on Kyrie basically saying, giving the movie credit for being a good movie, what are we really punishing? Are we punishing that the movie was informative? Or are we punishing Kyrie for having an opinion about it being informative? And the only reason I ask that question is because it's still running.
Right.
If you stopped it and it wasn't running, maybe you turn around and be like, oh, I wasn't making. No, but when you made that film and when Amazon agreed to put it on there for sale and you can go in there and look at it, I guarantee you, I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, the analytics of it or the statistics of what's going on, but I guarantee you, it came out 4 years ago. I bet you right now, it's being viewed more now than it probably has been
Oh yeah.
in the
In the
last
last
2, 3
3
years.
years. Yeah.
Easy.
And this whole time, yep. With that being said, man, listen, y'all. This is episode 98. And we appreciate y'all tuning in for 98 straight episodes. And stay true to yourself. You know what I mean? With that being said, you can catch us on all your streaming podcast audio sites. Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Radio Public, Audible. What else I'm missing, P?
I think you got them on it.
iHeartRadio.
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 I think you got them on it outside of that, bro.
Right.
As we say each and every week, you make sure you can check us out. Like you said, 7 p.m. every Thursday on YouTube, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when all the content is dropping. Um, your downloads are appreciated. Your views are appreciated. Your comments, the time that you take to just respond to the show is appreciated. The same thing I've been telling you guys about these other, affiliate channels that we have, man. I want to say thank you for all the support that's been coming by way of the channel of Rain and Rainey's on the Rise, my personal channel, you know what I mean? Dealing with food for thought. We know that all your time is valuable, man, and we just appreciate you doing that. This has been, like he said, episode number 98. We look forward to seeing y'all next week and speaking to y'all next week. Thank you once again for the time, man. Y'all be good and be safe out there.
All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.